Hi, I just wanted to share a quick story with you about Jeff Walter. Jeff and I used to go to CGI conferences annually, and Marshall Miller would go, and Don Crucker usually. And, a lot of times there'd be little things that happened that, would just, sometimes they weren't even all that funny, but we would just continue to talk about them or bring up sayings or whatever from year to year, and it was just kind of an enjoyable experience. And one of the things that I remember relatively well was a time that Jeff and I and Marshall and I think it was Dawn too went on to a conference, and I'm not sure really where it was, and there was a person who belonged to, I think it was a county up in northern Minnesota. And she had the kind of personality where she was kind of negative. In fact, she's a lot more than a kind of negative. She's just kind of like Debbie Downer. I mean, everything that she said was a complaint, and she complained about her coworkers, about her work environment, about anybody that she knew, about her whole life. It was just complaint after complaint. And a lot of times, if you saw her coming, you try to get out of the way before she sat down next to you and grabbed your ear and started telling you things that you probably didn't want to hear. She wasn't someone who was going to necessarily lift you up. And one time, I remember one time relatively well where Jeff and I were talking, and obviously neither of us had noticed that she was coming into the room. And she comes into the room and she sat down right across from us, and she's talking to us, and she's complaining about her husband and about all the things that her husband has done that she doesn't like, and he doesn't do the shopping, and he doesn't pick up his stuff, and he's a horrible person, and just one thing after another about how terrible this person is that she's married to. It's interesting, and I'm just trying to take it all in and trying not to say anything, because that will encourage her possibly to talk about something else. And Jeff is listening, and he's listening intently. And I have to say, Jeff, through the whole time I've known him, is a tremendous listener. And so he's listening and paying attention, and you can see the concern look on his face. And as she finishes this story about how horrible her husband is and how bad that she treats him, or how badly he treats her, and all of the things that he does that are wrong. And she wraps it up by saying, my husband treats our dog better than he treats me. And Jeff, hearing this, really takes it in, and he's pondering, he's really thinking about it, and he looks back at her and he said, well, what kind of a dog do you have anyway? So, she didn't know how to respond. I think she maybe told us what kind of a dog she had, but after that, every year after that, I'd repeat that whenever we'd see this woman. But I'd see Jeff in the hallways, and almost every time I'd see him, I'd come back with a comment, what kind of a dog do you have anyway? And Jeff would smile. So thank you, Jeff, not only for being a good listener, but for having great comedic timing, and for being someone who is fun to be with. And I won't forget the times that we've had, the times that we've spent talking and doing just some silly things. So thank you for being who you are, and I really hope you have a tremendous retirement and enjoy all of it. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.